Terraria. This game is considerably old. I'm talking decades at this point. Anyway, many people have tried and failed. Now, despite all my long hours and time and effort put into this game, I have not beaten it once. What better idea to have than to beat Terraria on the hardest mode there is, Master Mode. This is gonna be wonderful. Holy rushed intro. Anyway, sorry about that. I'm gonna warn you, I kind of missed the first clip in this playthrough, so I did nothing. I just built my house. This is really kind of all how it went. Alright, pause right here. So, right now I'm recording this on my Xbox, meaning that I do not have a mic, so you won't hear me, like, internally reacting to all the things around me. It's mainly just going to be me voicing over, because, you know, I'm editing this. But, otherwise, hopefully in the future, I can get a microphone. That'd be lovely. But until then, it's just going to be you and me, pal. Yeah, that's all I have. Enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, while I was exploring, I came across a nice tall tree. I think it's a living tree. I was really pumped to see what loot we get inside of it. Okay, that wasn't the best thing yet. But beggars can't be choosers. Let's go back down. There's surely some more loot down here, and there's gotta be a better weapon. At least, like, a finch staff or something, you know? Alright, there's no finch staff in this living tree whatsoever, is there? I don't know why I felt internally like a little worked up about this. I mean, it wasn't even my main class. It's gonna be magician or magic. So I decided to just go on back out and see what I can find. On my way, I found a cave or something. I thought I did. It turned out to be more of a cove, and inside there was just like, oh my good. Yes, I have a favorite starter weapon. Leave me alone. Now, at this point, I decided to go to the left, and I entered the desert biome. And if you don't know anything about Terraria deserts, it usually ends like... We're gonna be seeing this screen together a lot, my friends. After I respawned, I came back to my house, and I decided I wanted to build more rooms, more chairs, and everything for NPCs. For those of you who don't know, Terraria has these things called NPCs. Most games have them. The thing with Terraria NPCs is that you can let them live in your house and they can trade you some awesome things. Some can be weapons, some can be items, armor, heck, even these things called pylons. Pylons, I'll get into another time. Right now is about the time I decided I just wanted to just get my arena going. Arenas are mainly used for boss fights and everything. Almost every Terraria player has to have an arena, just because of how hard these bosses can get, especially since I'm playing in Master Mode. And honestly, if I can just finish this arena now, it'd be a lot easier than doing it late game and struggling with all the bosses. So for the next, I don't know how long, I just kept building up this arena because I was really worried I'd struggle with the bosses later on, considering I played Terraria early game before, 1000%, but I haven't completed it fully. And I knew how hard these bosses could get eventually. So that's why I wanted to build it now rather than late game, where I would be struggling to fight all these bosses, where I should be farther than I should be and not have any sort of prep for these bosses whatsoever. Honestly, too, this is Future Evan. I've gotten a lot farther. This arena has been so much more helpful. I genuinely do not think I would be right now without this arena. That's how much, like, contribution this thing has done for me. So after I started finishing up the arena, I started lighting it up because it was nighttime, and, you know, I have just a little bit past Terraria. But other than that, it was going well. I was very confident about my abilities, everything that was happening. The next day, I was going to go and defeat those vultures so I could finally get across the desert. I was so hyped, I felt ready and prepared. Finally, I crossed the desert, and on the other side, I found a living tree. I was excited again. I really wanted that finch staff. I didn't care if it was part of my class, and no finch staff whatsoever. But it's alright, we'll go down the tree again, do the same route, go through it. Why is there nothing here? After a bit of a slight annoyance, I went back down just to see if there would be anything else down in the chests, maybe that finch staff I was hoping for, and I came across a nice cave. After only a slight bit of exploring, I found out that the two living trees were connected, so I started to climb up the second one in hopes that I would find another chest. Again, I really wanted this finch staff. After looking, I find a chest, and no finch staff, yet again. But it's alright, there's one more chest, we're gonna get it through, one last chance for this finch staff. We're not probably going to be finding the finch staff in this playthrough. It's alright. The finch staff isn't a required item in the game. I just honestly really wanted it because I knew how much of a pain the bosses can be in this. So, the fact that I didn't have it now doesn't mean it's the end of the world. There's still other summoning items I can get, but it's still a negative on something I really wanted early game. So, after a bit more searching, I came across one last living tree into this, living tree forest I was in. Inside, I kept searching, still with a tiny bit of hope, and oh, that's great, actually! That was one of the NPCs I was talking about. That's the merchant. He sells us the pylon, which we can then later use to teleport around with other pylons. I don't think I'll be getting it by now, but I explored a bit of the caves, and then I came across something I've actually been needing. It's just a pair of boots. Ooh. No, it's not. The Hermes boots actually are very good for boss fights because it makes you quicker than the boss if you upgrade them to the Terra Spark boots, which is what we're going to hopefully be doing later on. After a weird cut, I decided I needed an old man's undying loyalty, into trade, of course. You know, nothing similar. But unlike the big stick policy, this is the setup you need for their undying trade loyalty. It's honestly a lot more simpler than how the United States did it, but hey, now we have a merchant NPC, and we have access to the pylon. So this was going to be a great help later on. Then I got a furnace and an anvil placed down. There you go. And now with my new metal bucket, I decided I was unstoppable and I was ready to take on this Terraria world. I don't know what you were expecting, dude. Ultimately, I decided I needed to go mining again. So the goal was to try and find a cave, but eventually I just ended it back down in the living tree. So I mined through there and I eventually came across a miniature cave. So I decided to hop through, look around, maybe there'd be some good loot. And a bit through here, there, and eventually I came across a nice chest with, alright, guess I'll just go kill him. After a bit more exploring and a bit more fighting, I kept looking around. There was just nothing major or interesting in this cave. It honestly ticked me off. So I kept digging down in hopes I'd find another cave. Eventually I did come across something, actually a lot quicker than I originally thought. But I think I just gave up and just decided to teleport home. After a long day of defeat, I decided I would go and start digging down my elevator. Now, eventually in Terraria, you can reach hell, and that place is not fun whatsoever. And unfortunately for today, this is where our video will be concluded. I know you're whining right now. I'm sorry. I'm running this on CapCut, and that means I'm on my phone, and my phone is right now having a seizure because of my storage. So if you like this, please leave a like, 10 likes, and maybe I'll come out with a part 2. Ciao!